That's working. Currently waiting for trading floor. There we go.
Alrighty, now we'll just get some peeps in.
Yeah, well, I can hear the voice, so we're all good.
Perfect. Hello, hello. Nice. Good morning, good afternoon.
Pandora's box. How's it going?
That's a perfect name. Great. Let's open that thing.
It's been a yeah. Let's get that stuff open for the new year.
Right?
I think Pandora, have you actually you told us your actual name, haven't you? But I have forgotten it. But I want to say it's something like it begins with maybe an I.
Okay, and for this one, if I remember, please forgive me if I'm forgetting
G'day,
this.
Pat.
Pat, yes. Okay, I was about to say it, and I wasn't sure. I'm glad you said it first. Pat. Um,
Mhm.
welcome, welcome.
How can you? Well, I make a special effort to remember Pat's name because I can't pronounce his other name. So
Fair, yeah. I try to remember all your guys' name, but we just had the holidays. I might have had a little, a little bit of drinking here and there, some fun, lots of events.
oh, say it ain't so.
Yeah, so forgive me, but I did remember.
I had a fantastic break. We went over to New Zealand. We stayed with some friends, and it was amazing. They got engaged as well, so we had a bit of an
Oh,
engagement party.
exciting.
So
Uh,
no, it was pretty sweet. And I also I made a new song like because I'm bloody amazing at writing songs and shit.
nice.
And
Me too.
you know how I don't know if there's anyone here that lives on the southern hemisphere. Let me know if you do. But this time is how's the workout? How have your workouts been coming, Jezza? Someone's
Liter
calling you out already.
well, I literally just started yesterday, so my legs are a little sore, but
Oh,
I started real
nice,
light.
nice, nice. Did
Yeah.
you did the sort of hip lifts and squats and lunges and shit like that?
Yeah, I did lunges and squats mostly yesterday. I did
Lunges,
three,
squats. Okay,
yeah, I did 3 reps of each.
okay.
It was literally my first day.
Make sure you get some glute stuff going there. If
Yeah.
did you end up getting the suspension trainer?
Nope, no equipment, nothing new yet. No personal shopping
Oh,
yet. Yeah.
dude,
I'll
get
get,
it,
I'll
get it.
get, yeah, yeah.
I swear, I tell you, when you get that, hit me up. I'll get you. There's three exercises: one for chest, one for back, one for your glutes, and that's all you're really gonna need. Like,
Perfect.
and it gets you going.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
used a little bit of AI to help me build, giving it my weight and height and trying to like build
yeah,
a slightly
nice.
personalized routine. I'm starting super mild because it's been a year since I worked out, so it was almost the entire year. I think I stopped in like March last year, so yeah.
we um we bought a whole bunch of yoga sessions,
Mm,
and then we went off on holiday. So it meant that we had 1.5 weeks to do 20 yoga
holy
classes between us,
epic.
and we are, we're going in tomorrow morning, and we're going in Friday morning, and that's it. And we've done our 20, and
Holy.
I tell you what, I can touch my toes. I can, when you twist all the way around and you can like see
Yeah.
behind you and things like
Oh
that.
gosh, that must feel
Like
so
things
good
that
at the
you
end of a good session.
yeah, things that you forgot that you used to be able to do like from 20 years ago. I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I can do that now.
that's
That's pretty
awesome.
cool.
Uh, That's awesome. I need to get into some yoga. Alrighty.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna
Oh,
throw
it's
up.
great.
I'm gonna throw up our face reveal and the charts. We can talk about. I mean, it's the first time I think we're both getting back to the charts for the year, so we're gonna be focused mostly on like mindset things. But I'll be taking a look at the market and stuff too. But
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
let's get
Well,
this.
we've got London Open just open up now. Let me
Yep.
get
We
my.
we just unfortunately we missed the minute candlestick, but I don't really care about the minutes anymore. London Open, but here we are. Just happened. The last candlestick in the 5 minute chart right here. I like to do my little top down view. I guess we can. We just take a look real quick at the top-down view of the market that I'd look at, and then let's see. Let's look at GU and Nasdaq, and the other one everyone likes to see is gold. I guess we could take a look at gold. We'll do.
Gold, I don't know at the moment. Let's have a look.
I just find no interest in
It's an
trading
interesting
gold.
spot, but like it's kind of it's done the retest already, and it's kind of already on its way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Unless you want to be taking a sell off, another sell off. I would say you've missed whatever move you would need to make on gold to be going up, except for like the breakout again,
yeah.
breakout and retest.
GU is kind of at a touchy spot right now because there's kind of two ways to look at the market and the overall, like this daily market. So this is like the overall macro market. It is bullish. All right, the GBP is bullish relative to USD overall, and we have this huge demand here. Let me mark it up for everyone. This is on the daily, so this is not me like marking up a point of interest or anything. I'm just explaining where we are overall in the market. And there's all this liquidity resting here. So this is a fine place for the market to absorb the liquidity and take off bullish. But it's the daily chart and the daily structure, so I do like to look at what is happening now over like kind of more than overall when we're talking about trades, like getting into the market and taking a trade. So as of right now, technically the internal structure has broken and switched bearish and has pulled all the way back to the internal high, and it looks like it's filling up from that liquidity and coming down. So it might be coming down deeper into this demand. I'm not saying this demand zone will break, but just looking at this right here, it could be possible that we get a small continuation down more. So this is kind of bearish foreboding, right? So then I look at the 4 hour and kind of a similar story. We had this deep liquidity sweep. The market went bullish, started wiping out all the supply, came up to the supply, and we have this very violent, I mean, sorry, very violent supply up here, and it's now entering that. It hasn't taken any strong liquidity. It's still going up, so it might not go bearish yet. The extremes are always strong liquidity, and let's see. Well, it
Well,
did. It
definitely
took this.
when you look at this, like I wouldn't say like on the way up, there's not really much momentum that's going with it. It's very kind of like laggy in
Yeah,
my mind.
yeah, versus like this almost capitulation of the market coming down.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And that is um a sign of a potential pullback behavior over like trend
Mm.
behavior. So, and the
Yeah.
4 hour trend matches up with the daily internal trend. The 4 hour trend is bearish. We're coming up to this extreme supply at the trend high. This is the trend high on the 4 hour. And again, we're picking up this strong liquidity. We picked this liquidity up actually, this double top area right here with all this liquidity resting here. So it did take strong liquidity. So it could flip here or it could continue up to this zone. But as of right now, I would be on the lookout for some bearish movement. How bearish? I don't know, but it's a little late for the bullish trend and we're at extreme supply, so I'd be looking for some bearish movement. So 15-minute, look at this. This looks like some potential macroeconomic stuff where it absorbed liquidity and came up, touched the high, liquidated all this stuff. Whether it's going up or down from here, eventually it's probably going to revisit this stuff. If it does, it's got all this resting liquidity here and even right here. I don't know if it'll just liquidate this or if it's going to take that out, but eventually um, it will revisit this. So if I was looking for any bullish move, it'd probably be after a revisit of this. As for a bearish move, it can happen anytime on the way down to this stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for GU. And I'll do another quick.
If you're looking at it on oh you are looking on the 15-minute, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like this kind of this kind of pattern where it just kind of pushes like what was it? It would be 8:30 my time. So that big push up
right
to
here.
like just trick traders into thinking it's going to keep going,
Yes.
and
And,
then
and it
it
took all that
stops a little bit.
liquidity.
It's a
Yeah.
shallow, and then takes some more liquidity, and then breaks below that. That's
Yeah.
just for me. That's a classic. Like I mean, I would have loved to have seen this, and then getting off the retest of the Australian defining range there, which
I'm guessing
kind
it's
of
around here.
broke up and then broke down to the other side and then retested it to the downside.
Oh, okay. Is it this where this pullback happens?
So the start of with the very shallow pullback is where the Australian DR starts.
Oh, okay, okay.
Just there, yeah, and
Okay.
it's like only an hour. So There's like a little tiny box. If you get up, do you have your fractal frenzies or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get that up, it'll show you, and then it comes and retests.
Oh, I see, I see, I see.
Very nice. This was Tuesday, um, and then it kind of has
Ah,
kind of done a similar thing today. Kind of broken to the upside, and then kind of done a false day.
yeah. So another thing I would look at it, like if you're looking at it from a price action perspective, a sign that it could be weakening at this point is conviction. So there's conviction in this move for a second, but
Mm,
if it was a trend conviction, then when it made a new low, that low would hold. But immediately it paused here and made a new low. First of all, already kind of failing this little pause. Not that that's really it. This is more like creating a low, but it was a sign of failure. Then it comes up and it doesn't,
yeah,
there's no momentum there. It comes up a little bit,
yeah, exactly.
pauses,
This
and
this
no conviction.
Yeah, this movement is like I love this type of movement. It's just like easy liquidity gets taken, and that little tiny shallow pullback, just making people think that it's probably I don't it's probably not even pulled back 25% or anything like that, and then tries to push higher. That's when sort of your novice traders are going to kind of go, oh well, I guess it's just going to keep on going then. I guess
Mm-hmm.
there's going to
Mm-hmm.
be no pullback. Pushes up higher, doesn't spend hardly any time up there, and then comes and breaks that low straight away. In my mind, when I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to at least test lower down into sort of more your OTE kind of area, your
Mm.
golden zone, which it hasn't even got to. It's only just pulled. It's just about to push into the kind of 0.65, I would say, kind of
Another
area.
another key giveaway is that when liquidity gets taken and momentum is built, it doesn't just come and then completely reverse. It usually
Yeah,
comes and maybe pauses and then creates some serious move, and then we'll revisit that, and maybe we'll go up again if it revisits it. But in this case, where it
yeah,
just came up to take liquidity out, that's a bearish sign. It just is. And as a matter of fact,
yeah.
I'm willing to bet cash on this. No, I shouldn't say that, but I bet you there's a divergence here.
Oh, you haven't done disclaimer, by the way.
Oh, my disclaimers. Oh my gosh. See, guys, I'm such a novice now. It's been a
Due
while.
diligence. Look at
Yeah.
that. Did you hear
Uh,
that? Due diligence. I've been working on that.
I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, well, first of all, disclaimers. None of this stuff is financial advice. This is only for education and entertainment purposes only. Please always do your own due diligence when you do any kind of trading. It's a high risk activity. You
Yeah,
can and
do
will
that due
incur losses.
diligence.
And please use proper risk management and only risk capital on strategies you've tested yourself. That being said, back to this. Yeah, you can, like, without even, I never use the RSI. I just know divergences are supposedly a leading indicator, and in a way they are, but I
They
don't know.
are, yeah,
If
but
you,
you can pick them.
yeah, if you can read
Like if
price
you if
action,
you read price action, you can gonna go, okay, well that's going to be a divergence.
yeah, you can tell when momentum is shifting from the story I was already looking at. And okay, and then let's look at Nasdaq. So I don't want to take up too much time because I haven't entered a trade, so I'm really just kind of taking a look at what's going on now. So we've landed that GU is kind of looking bearish, which I mean, clearly it's getting bearish right now, at least for the short-term time frame, right? All the way, basically all the way up to
Would
four
you?
hour.
So can I ask? Would you have entered a trade if you had seen
Let me
Tuesday's price action, for instance?
let's see where we let's go back to Tuesday. Make it fair and easy. Okay, so this is where London
By the way,
happened.
guys, for those who are watching, if anyone wants to suggest some questions, we're going to touch a little bit on mindset for the new year a little bit today. But if there's any charts you want to look at as well, just let us know.
Yep, yep. So I use my Fibonacci tool for anyone that's new or anything like that. I use it as a measuring stick. I think bears use that terminology a lot of times before. I don't really use it as a trading tool by itself, but it's a measuring stick. So I'm looking at the pullback area. I want something within this golden zone or at that around this between here and here. It could be anywhere, honestly. It's forex. So I'm just looking for these boxes and liquidity. So is there liquidity near them? There's deep liquidity right here. The deepest of all this liquidity up to this zone is right here coinciding with this box. So I would be looking for any of that liquidity. So I have alerts at each of these points. Probably something like this. Or well, there's a double top here, so it'd probably just be this one. Oops, that's the wrong tool. Trying to do this one.
I know you don't use fair value gaps so much, but there's also a fair value gap just sitting on the 18th of September,
Yeah, where
which is just
where the
just it's kind of like a
liquidity is.
unicorn for those who do ICT sort of stuff. You've got your double tops there, and then you've got
Yeah, there's
a
so
fair
many.
value gap sitting right above it.
There's a ridiculous level of bearish confluence at this point, if I'm real honest. So
Yeah.
the moment that
Mm.
gets liquidated, so here's how I look at it. Let me delete this because we already measured. We have our liquidity marked up there. So the moment that gets liquidated, I'm basically looking for strong liquidity to be taken out. Well, guess what? Do you see how this closed? Wait, did it? Oh, maybe this isn't strong liquidity.
I don't
Yeah.
think it did first time, did it?
Ooh, it barely didn't close below this, but I mean, okay, this is
But
arguably
the one of the double tops it did. You know what I mean?
yes, yeah, from over here. This thing right here. Or I
Yeah.
mean,
Double double whatever it is.
yeah, yeah. Um I'd be looking for this liquidity to be taken to the bearish level, right? So we have this liquidity here, and as a matter of fact, we really get it at this point where the market is pulling back and comes in and liquidates right here. Violent reaction. That's a really good sign. And let me mark this up real quick so we can take a look at what it is that it's liquidated. So you just take a look on the higher time frame and what is it liquidating? This zone right here. So we have a zone that has been liquidated now, which is a flip zone where the market was flipped down here. Okay, so we now have a zone that was liquidated. At this point, all I need is bearish confirmation. So you look at the point, let me delete all this stuff because we don't need it anymore. We've confirmed that that was a very valid liquidation. So what I need now is where that liquidation happened. I just need the area that it created it right here to be closed below. If you want to be really strict or quote unquote safer, then you can use the internal low. But for me, as the type of trader I am, I just need the point of liquidation. So this last little demand right here. So the moment it
Indecision. Yeah.
closed below right there, that tells me that this zone, now that's a huge wick. So I would use like the last zone that I have when that closure happens. So the closure happens here, right? So I don't really have a zone, but a zone kind of gets created right here as this is happening. Like that's not high enough yet for me to get in the market, but it creates a point that I probably would use. I don't know how much I'd refine that. We have this liquidation point right here, so you could probably be like, okay, well, there's where the liquidity was taken, so you can use that as your box maybe, right? Or refine
Hmm.
it in other ways like that. Use the liquidity to read it. You don't want to lie to yourself. You're not ever going to somehow catch that. There's no, I mean, maybe if you use like a 1 minute chart, there might be something you could see in there. Okay, there is. There's the original zone that flipped the market, and it even took its liquidity. So you couldn't be so aggressive that you took that zone because you'd lose. You could use that zone's liquidity, but there's just how are you going to know on the 1 minute chart that that's, you got to be honest with yourself. So use a real story of liquidity. Use something like this box or something like that. That's fine. That is a nice and tight stop loss on a 15-minute chart. And if that's the case and you're risking this zone, then what is the likelihood that's going to happen? It's going to liquidate at least the next zone. What is the risk to reward on that? And what is the total market? If it's worth risking, it might be good enough on its own, which is right here, right? And if it's that's a 5R. That alone is fine to me. I'd take that trade
Yep.
and take the easy fruit and call it good. But you could go up the time frame and decide like if you don't have enough value in your trade, you can see if there's a logical way to extend your trade. I would be very careful. This is such a tight stop loss. At most, maybe filling that, right? Like, I mean, in this case, 13. If you have a wider stop because you couldn't refine that, it might give you your 5 or something like that. But I'd be careful aiming beyond that. I don't know if it hasn't gone that low yet. But anyway, that's the best I would do when you're getting that tight in your stop loss, if that makes sense. But that's kind of how I'd look at it for anyone that is wondering. Liquidity, you find when it liquidates where it flips the point of liquidation, and then that zone is protected supposedly, so you just find a way to refine it. I try to find the most logical ways I can to refine it as tight as I can. I don't want to cheat. I will never be like, let me just do a 4 pip stop loss or something crazy because how many
Mm.
times are you never going to get filled? And then also, how are you going to know exactly which part of the wick is going to fill? Yes, it often
You
does.
also got to think as well, like what time of day that is. Like using a 4 pip stop loss
Yeah,
during just before London's
London
about to
Open.
kick in.
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
liquidated instantly.
So it's an
Sometimes
it's
it's quick.
Frankfurt. That's Frankfurt Open just there. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. But still, even during the Frankfurt Open, if you have a tight enough stop loss, there are times when the market will move very fast and you can just get, you probably won't get slipped at Frankfurt Open, but you can get stopped out immediately. Um, anyway, that's kind of how I'd analyze that for that Tuesday's move. As of right now, I'm still holding on to that bearish sentiment, at least until it fills this demand. Like I said, that point of my where my take profit was in this zone, that is the earliest possible time if it was going to go bullish that it would, and I don't think that it's technically going to go actually bullish because again, from this price action, it's telling me it's an
Yeah.
early sign. It's an early sign that we're probably going to switch our um,
Get a bearish pullback more
yeah,
than a bullish move.
yeah.
So I suppose in this situation here, you say that that area, which is uh, basically, I think, around New York on Monday, um, would you be watching that, or you'd be getting in and out before it gets to there, or because you're anticipating a bearish move, would you be more likely in watching it and sort of trailing your stop loss, or would you just be getting out and taking your 5R?
Oh, you mean so once this played out,
Yeah,
uh,
because it's still technically it's kind of bullish, but it's we're in kind of like
This
anticipating a
is,
bearish pullback
yeah,
right
this
now.
this is 100% a wait and see situation for me. So I would not even look for a bearish continuation at this point once I nab my 5R. Instead, I would want to see if the market fills this zone. The only way I'll go bullish is the same condition that I went bearish. I need strong liquidity, so it needs to either sweep this stuff and flip or create a new low on the 50-minute. Like for example, if it went like this for some reason, or especially if it did it lower, but let's just say from right here, it sweeps this liquidity that kind of went up here. That's, nah, I'm more looking for that. So really what I'd be looking for is the market to create, like maybe trick people and create this low and sweep that. And once that gets swept, this does kind of count, but only if the high that it makes is meaningful. If it went up above this stuff,
Yeah.
then that would be fine because this is a lot of liquidity.
Hmm.
But I want that liquidity to get swept and then it to switch. Like what would happen is it would come react to the supply, most likely, pause or pull back. So let's make a small pullback position and then break it. And that zone that causes that move, either, oops, that's a short. Either that zone is the zone I'd pick, or depending on how far it was away from the launch position, maybe it would be the liquidity um, for my
Yeah.
move. Right. It depends
Yeah.
on that. And I always talk about those when I run into them usually. I think you guys have examples, and I'll find more this year, I'm sure. And that depends on the like kind of like the distance and position and where it is. So for example, if you threw up your fib tool and your zone was right at the top of like the 50% zone and there was maybe like a little flip zone in between at that golden zone, that might be the liquidity for it or something like that. I don't know. You just gotta we'll discuss them as we run into them. But that's the scenario I'd be
Yeah.
looking for bullish is that strong liquidity and flip. I am looking
Yeah.
for a bearish scenario, but because I already would have capitalized on that 5R, that's comfortable for the
Yeah.
move I was anticipating, and I'd wait for a new bearish.
Yeah. So I was I wasn't so that was awesome, but I was sort of asking sort of more sort of the bearish scenario.
Okay, just the bearish scenario alone. For the bearish
Yeah.
scenario,
Yeah. Yeah.
once you capitalize on that move, there's no point in risking new capital on the same position, so I'd need something new. So it'd have to
Yeah.
come up here
Yeah.
maybe and take
That's
this stuff
essentially what I
out.
was asking. Yeah.
If it,
Would you because I think for the most part, I think we've been in enough trades to know that when once you get that 5R, generally, I mean you can wait, but you're going to be going from 5R to 4R to 3R to
yeah,
2R
yeah,
to 3R to 2R to 1.5R, maybe back even to break even
yeah.
before you can kind of get that
They don't just
another
keep,
move.
yeah, they don't just keep coming out. It's
Yeah,
not, I mean,
they
it
don't just
happens, but
keep on going.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be lovely if
You
they just keep on
to
doing that, but
So the key principle to get those chunky moves, and the reason why I teach how to get chunky moves like that, in my opinion, those are chunky. I know you probably see people on Instagram or whatever that have 15, 20, 30, 50R, but a 5R is a
Um,
chunky move, guys. If you're risking an amount and you can consistently bank 5 times what you're
10, 20,
risking,
30. Let's see how often they do that and
yeah,
how often
yeah,
they
yeah. How many
blow a
losses
count
did they
before they do
get?
that.
Exactly, exactly. I have in real life seen trades like that, but I've never even a single time had someone show me a consistent strategy where they can chunk out more than 15 Rs without like with the exclusive thing position of me doing what I'm doing here, lining up from the 15-minute to the 4 hour to the daily and patiently waiting for that deep daily zone, and that's it. And then if you take your loss, you take your loss, and you don't trade again for a week or something like that. And that is what it is.
I
That's the
got a
only, and even then, you got to be careful about how long you hold a trade because you're getting huge swings of your position size. So, um, anyway, that being said,
I got a 20 I got a 20R on a demo when I was doing strategy wars either 2 or 3
nice.
and just holding that for the entire strategy wars.
That's
But
awesome.
unfortunately, it got all the way to the end, and then as we've talked about, it went all the way back to 5, 4, 3,
Ooh, yeah.
2, and break even. Right at the end of strategy wars, and I was just like, well, it was demo, but it still hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurts. But what a ride, huh? See, in real life, when you have, if you guys ever find a trade where you're doing what I'm doing, because you will see where you can follow the market all the way to the next phase of the market, and you maybe call it right, please trail your stop in some way or another because it is not you're no longer risking if you're up 7, 8, 10, 12 R, you're not risking a trade anymore. Now you're risking that 12 R. It's on the table. Those profits are on the
Yep,
table. That could be yours. You could now lock in that trade
yep,
and walk away with 12 R.
yep,
So I'm not saying to be crazy or do stuff that you haven't tested and move your stop down to 11 R and just get liquidated when you could go up to 20 R. I'm not saying that. I am saying, however, though, if you're up 10 plus R and you haven't even moved your stop to break even, you're kind of being foolish because now your risk to reward ratio is whatever the end of your trade is divided by what you currently have on the table, and that becomes a bad bet eventually, right? I know there are
yep,
systems in place where you just have to hold. I understand that, but in general, that's not the
yep,
case. Please protect your
yep.
capital if you're winning big. Um, oh yeah, that being said, what I
By
was
the
gonna
way,
say, go ahead.
before we continue, Pat and Pandora, we see your questions. We'll get to it in a short while.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was chatting it up. If not,
No,
um,
no, you're on a roll, mate. You keep on going.
um,
I just wanted to let them know that they were, still loved.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get there. We're just starting for the year, and I'm kind of making sure I get all my main trading stuff covered, and how I think
Yeah.
about trading and everything. Uh, Shoot, I lost
hmm
my train of thought though. We were talking about um.
not getting it, not holding. You were talking about sort of getting back
Oh
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the trade
So
and making for new structure.
the whole idea behind getting these chunky pieces of market is that you're getting in patiently, waiting for liquidity to be swept. So you are avoiding being the guy that's like, oh, I was part of the liquidity sweep. You're on purpose, not like, oh, I'm discerning and therefore I'm looking out for a liquidity sweep to avoid it. You are literally, that's the trading strategy here. You are like waiting for that liquidity sweep to happen, people to get liquidated, and thus, because they're
Yep.
liquidated, the market gets to go to where it's going next. And if you're wrong, you're just wrong because you waited for that sweep,
Yep.
and that's okay. That's
Yep.
the whole point. So it involves once you're out of the market, in and out of the market, and you have your chunky trade. Yeah, I showed two examples. One where you can maybe get 5R, and another where you could double that to 10R, and maybe both played out. It doesn't matter. Both are amazing. If you get 5R, there's no reason to re-enter until a new piece of liquidity is taken out. So you can join the bearish trend, but now we're going lower here, so I need at least this liquidity or this liquidity to get taken out in
Yep.
the market to then
Yep.
reverse and show me that it's using that liquidity to continue the bearish trend. Then you have a new entry, same as you did up here. Same way. You find the new zone that flipped the market, and you can limit your order, or some people like to just get in market order. You're going to have a slightly less risk reward that way because you're impatiently kind of jumping in right now. But it also means you get in for sure. You're not going to miss the move, right? So it's up to you how you want to do it.
Yep.
Both are valid. I prefer limits and the patient. Mastering the art of patience and trading is super important, and I think that limit orders have helped me do that. I don't have to go, now's the time, pull the trigger. The market's either going to come to me or it's not, and I do prefer
hmm
that. Um,
Yeah.
okay, I finished my day. I can get to questions if you want, unless you
So,
had.
no, no, no. I mean, that's pretty much perfect. Pat asks, when you get a chance at the end of your analysis, would you mind telling me if you can do it using Heiken-Ashi candles for GU and the
US 30.
US 30? Yeah.
Okay. I'm willing to do that for you as like an exercise, but I have to make a really strong disclaimer that I don't trade Heiken-Ashi and I only very basically understand how they work. I do understand how they work, luckily, so I can kind of look at them, but they don't function the same
I would
way.
say, yeah, I would say the way that you trade, I wouldn't say it was
No,
overly viable. The only way that I would consider maybe you could possibly switch once you're in the trade to Heiken-Ashi. That might be a way to hold trades for longer, but
I was
I wouldn't.
I was gonna
I wouldn't.
say something very similar is that Heiken-Ashi is to let you know using just candlesticks and the equation of the candlesticks open, close, high, and low how strong the trend is in relative to the rest of the trend. So it's similar to a moving average, but in candlestick form in a way. It's not exactly that. It's the average pace of the market basically, which is I think what it means,
Yeah.
right? Like average pace or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it
So I mean, you're not going to get fooled by like a very small pullback.
Yeah, so
Um,
it's useful exactly. It's useful to not scare you from price action. In my opinion, this is how I see Heiken-Ashi candles. But when you're using my strategy, I'm looking for market to get taken at liquidity at this broker's data center. Like the data that this broker, Oanda, that I often use, is showing me this is where liquidation is happening. I'm not going to get that same information averaging out the price because it's not telling me what the price is. I'm looking at specific price numbers. Not the price number is not what matters. It's exactly where it is on the chart. But the Heiken-Ashi, as a matter of fact, let's take a look at GU real quick and now switch to Heiken-Ashi candles and you guys will see.
yeah. I
Uh,
just had a quick look. I'd probably say that it's probably not viable, except for the what we just stated just now.
yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Look, it doesn't even close below. If you were to hypothetically say this is your point of liquidation, you don't close below that all the way until over here because you're averaging out the price. So you missed out on that first initial move. And then
Yeah,
what?
you'd
This would
have to
be
be
your
taking
zone.
like a breakout style. You'd have to be
Yeah,
changing to a breakout style of trading,
it just doesn't. It just
which
does
is
not
fine if
work.
you can do that.
Also, red and green assaults my eyes now. I'm not a fan. Can't go back to that.
I'm colorblind, man, so you know how I feel
Oh,
about
yeah,
green especially. Green blue is can be if it's a bluey green. I'm not a fan.
yeah. Yeah, I get it. I can't stand how it looks on the charts. Oh my God. Okay, so I guess we can take a look if you really want to after hearing all that. If you still want to take a look, but you're not going to be able to trade my strategy using Heiken-Ashi.
Yeah,
I don't believe so. You can try it yourself. I just personally think you're going to be chopping it up. You're using two completely different pieces of information in the market by doing that. Like unrelated pieces of information, as a matter of fact. Um,
yeah.
Guys, how do you set goals for each year, or don't you at all since it's the start of 2026? We were going to talk about this, so I'm glad you asked. Um,
Actually, yeah, we were. Yeah.
so that's
Um,
perfect.
I have I have a very an interesting kind of goal possibly for this year, which is to be bored more.
Hmm.
I don't know how you feel about
Um,
that.
it can be taken out of context, but I think that's a
It
good,
sure can be.
the idea I think that you're saying is you want to be less physically and mentally busy sometimes and just chilling.
Less stimulated, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
I think
I was gonna,
in the world of doom scrolling
so,
and just finding things to occupy, instead of sitting down and thinking or or even just reading or meditation and things like that, just getting on your phone and just seeing. I mean, I don't have the only social media I have is YouTube, but I do watch YouTube Shorts, and I find myself getting thrown down a rabbit hole sometimes, and so I feel like I need to just kind of be bored because sometimes you
yeah,
can get your like the amount of times that I have been in sort of meditation and I've had like not fantastic ideas, but I've had ideas that lead to other ideas that kind of get the ball rolling for me when it comes to anything, uh, you know, um, creative or just even in trading, maybe even like thinking about ideas for things that we want to talk about. I literally thought about this whilst I was whilst I was uh, the in a lying down sort of position doing some yoga this morning, and yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and it was because I was not bored, but like I had my mind emptied, you know, and I was able to think of things rather than just be on my phone and going, oh look, this person went to a desert island and he had no food for 5 days, and let's see how we did, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. I,
But that's kind of I don't really have too many in the way of goals this year. I think my goals from last year are still pretty going pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with that. I know you've got your fitness stuff, but I would hesitate to guess that that's not something that you set for a new year. That's just something that you decided to do at the end of last year.
yes. I that is kind of the point. Well, first of all, I've got to say I'm very proud of you to say that because I can. Oh, I gotta be honest. I'm not fully doing that myself. I spend a lot of time. I don't do social media at all. I don't have any, but I do spend a lot of time on something on my phone, even if it's reading about finance. It's stimulation. I'm reading on my phone on the internet and browsing, and I get distracted and read game news, and sometimes I'll even watch random YouTube videos. And sometimes I'll get sent funny things, which can read can lead to like watching multiple videos and stuff. So I have, even though I'm not on social media, I have plenty of phone time. But I have a rule in my house for my daughter, um, who has a phone. My oldest daughter has a phone now, and she's very limited on her time for using phone and TV. And the reason why that is dopamine addiction. We, as an entire humanity, all first world country people that have access to internet and technology, we have this bad dopamine addiction where we need, thanks to being able to just access media anytime, we can stimulate our brains so easy. And it's hard to mitigate in this world, so I want to try my best to let her
It's
understand that
so
being
incredibly hard
bored.
because, especially because if you spend any amount of time on, say, YouTube or whatever it is, the algorithm will pick up on what you like and they'll just flood you with what you want to see, you know, all the time. And it's like, oh, that's quite interesting. Oh, that video as well is quite interesting. Oh yeah, let's keep
Yep.
on let's keep on going down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dopamine addiction is a huge thing. I think that needs to be addressed this year for me
Yeah.
anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That does lead into the point I was going to make about I think setting goals for yourself is a very powerful, awesome thing, and it's a necessity. You have to set goals for yourself. But I think setting annual goals for yourself is as irrelevant as saying random things in the ether. It doesn't mean anything, and oftentimes you're putting a big expectation on yourself and making it fail. So instead, I don't know how many books about like self-help and development and stuff like that you guys have read, but a very common theme in almost all of them is setting up systems instead of instead of just the big time goal, what are the systems in place that naturally lead to that goal? So instead, what I think you guys should do
yeah,
is every day, not on the New Year's or anything like that, focus on what are three things I can do today that lead me closer to my main goal right now. You pick one. Don't pick five, don't pick 10, pick one goal. I want to lose weight, or I want to make more money, or whatever it is. Now you are awake. How much time, free time in this day do you have to move toward your goal? Pick three things that you're going to do today, even if they're only 5 minutes each, and move them toward your goal.
mm,
Eventually, if these things work, you keep doing them. If they don't, you scrap them and you keep adding to your
yeah.
system, and you have a system in place. And that's how I think goals should be handled.
Can I add to that just real
Yeah,
quick?
please, please.
When it comes to these goals, whatever it is that you want to say, like like you say, you want to lose weight. Um, it's very easy to set goals. Again, at the start of the year, you'll set goals because maybe someone has asked you, "Oh, what are your goals?"
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah blah. It's very easy to just kind of go, "Oh, I want to lose some weight," and your mind will pick up on that. And even if you lose half a pound or something like that, technically you've succeeded in your goal. And it's a very sort of outcome orientated goal. Those types of goals, I would go as far as to say recommend set more sort of process driven goals. So if it is something you want to lose some weight, what are the just like trading, what are the processes that you need to put in place to be able to get this goal? and it becomes more about the journey, um, rather than I've lost 5 kilos, 10 kilos, whatever. Like, I've actually set processes in my day to day life that has also allowed me to live a little bit longer, become more stress free, spend more time with my family, be more mindful, be more wellness orientated. So don't just think about the end goal, think about the individual processes. I think we're kind of talking, kind of repeating each other a little bit here, but yeah, I just wanted people to kind of know that difference between when someone would come to me, as I used to be a personal trainer, I would say, I would always have the whys until you get to something substantial. So someone would come to me, uh, what do you want to achieve? Oh, I want to lose some weight. Okay, why do you want to lose some weight? Oh, I just want to uh, look a bit better when looking into the mirror. Okay, well, why do you want to do that? Oh, I just want to feel better about myself, blah blah blah. And eventually you get to the point where, oh, I just want to be able to, I don't know. Like I had a guy who never succeeded at anything, when it came to sort of fitness, health and fitness wise. And eventually I found out that, he's an older father and he wanted to be at the point where, his daughter is who has now turned, she would be 20 this year now. When he first came to me, she was 4, and he wanted to be around for her as an adult, kind of thing. And we used that as kind of a much better sort of goal setting rather than, oh, I want to lose 5 kilos. You
Mm,
know what I mean? So just be aware of what goals you're setting. Make sure they're process oriented and they're following that kind of why, rather than just kind of like, oh, I want to lose a little bit of weight, kind of thing. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Just like the time priority, you gotta. I mean, your life is important, and your time is important, and you don't get it back. So even setting goals and
mm.
prioritizing things, uh, yeah, you want to be purposeful and mindful of it.
Mm. Um, Anyway, I don't. Did you ever get round to saying how you said you did your first workout yesterday? Did you?
Yes, yeah, yep.
Have you got
Yes,
Have you got a foam roller or anything for today?
a
Any
foam
kind of
roller.
like
No,
a foam roller, like stretching, massage, that sort of thing,
no, I
or
don't.
you just sucking up the pain?
Yeah, well, luckily I was pretty
You're
mild,
just
so
like, I want to feel the pain.
yeah, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I probably should get something for stretching afterward. I just kind of do regular normal stretches and just yeah, let it hurt, I guess. Um
Yeah,
I
fair enough.
I didn't do my workouts today. I'm gonna do them before I go to bed. That's what I'm gonna do because I
What is it
scrambled.
today?
What's that?
What is it? What area are you working?
Today's the abs. Today is the core area.
Abs.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
A
So
lot
I
of
got
planking.
planks, yeah, planks and climbers. And I think that's it for my first ab day workout. I have two each on the first day, I think, or maybe one more.
You're not going to be one of those people that if I ask you how old you are, you're going to be offended by that. Even though I think I have asked you how old you are before.
No, 34.
34.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um, Dude, get a TRX, man, or a suspension trainer.
Yeah,
I will show you some good shit.
yeah, I would
Promise.
definitely. Okay, I got you. I got you. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
gonna do that. I haven't just gotten back from vacation and no purchases
Yeah. Yeah.
today or
Yeah.
anything. But
Fair
um
enough.
yeah, today was my first day back at all work related things. So I was just scrambling.
Mhm.
That was my excuse, but I'm gonna get it done before I go to bed. Because I can't, if I stop for any reason, it's gonna ruin my momentum. So I'll get it done today.
Pat asks, I assume this is carrying on from Haikanashi. He is just curious whether you can get a read of the market. I would possibly say maybe on the higher time frames you might be able to get a read of the market using Haikanashi, but again, like because it's taking out a lot of
Uh,
data points, I would say.
yeah, I was gonna take a look for
Um,
him. I'm looking at it, and it does the job of when I'm looking at the overall trend, the price extremes are the same basically. So you can get a
Yeah.
read of the market in that we can look at the trend. Okay, so it's trending up. It broke the internal structure. Could have liquidity swept or not. We don't know yet. It looks like it's bearish. I don't understand how the closures are really on Heiken Ashi, but assuming
Yeah.
it closed below this and that counts, it's bearish right
I
now,
would.
and that's it. I mean, that's the only. I can't give you the liquidity information as a thing, except at the extreme. So we have an
Yeah.
extreme here, right? And we liquidate that. But where are we turning around? I don't know. It's
Mhm.
coming up here. Those are all green candles. Then it comes down here. I don't know where liquidity happens. So let's use this again. We did this earlier where we marked this as our point of liquidity up here. And let's look at what it's liquidating on the 4-hour chart again.
Just to
And
interrupt real quick, I would almost say when it comes to sort of like if you're finding candles a little bit hard to read the market, maybe I mean I don't know how you feel about this, Jezza, but how do you feel about the classic line um,
uh, I
instead of candles
I
when you're a
rec
beginner?
I actually recommend the line chart to new traders for a not for reading the market. I don't recommend it for trading. I think you should use it as a learning tool, but I do recommend the line chart, and here's why. I'm going to show you. 'Cause I actually use this for people when I'm trying to teach them trading. It takes the noise of the candlesticks out, and you can just look at the trend. So let's reanalyze the market from the 4-hour down. So are we bullish or bearish? Well, remember what we were talking about earlier? It is going up bullish, but look at this. There's no candlesticks to get in your way. It's just squiggly lines. That is a way more compressed move up than this stretched move is down. You see these legs, how they're long lines of movement, whereas going up, there's only one little leg each movement and then a lot of compression. That can help you kind
Mhm.
of identify things like that. And then same thing, the trend. You're not, it's not complex. You're just looking at a line chart. So you're using the line chart to tell you that the market's going up.
Yeah.
Boom, like it
Because
doesn't,
depending on who you kind of subscribe to and whatnot, but like
yeah, it does,
generally like things like ICT and smart money concepts, they're generally I don't know so much about smart money concepts, but like for instance, like ICT say like lines are kind of almost like gaps. Like the smart money, quote unquote smart money, is in the bodies of the candles. Like that's where most of the smart money
yeah,
is, and the wicks are more like just liquidity, trying to get take people in and out of the market to trying to generate liquidity.
that makes sense, honestly. And you could literally use, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could use a line chart to trade, right? So here's an example. Let's go with
Certainly, you could use a line chart, I would say, to get a bias
So,
or
well, so for
just
example,
to see
here
where liquidity is for
you have an
instance.
extreme point here, right, where it's coming down, it picked up. Is it going to be bullish? I don't know, but it just created a new high and created leftover liquidity. Just like with a regular candlestick chart, there is resting liquidity underneath this zone and this buy area that created that zone. That is a valid area to trade the
Mm,
market without, you don't need the wicks so much because the concept is this zone and this zone. And like you were saying, the smart money is in this zone somewhere and it's going to liquidate that zone. So that is valid all by itself when you're using points of liquidity above and below
hmm
supply and demand zones. That
Yeah,
works just fine on line charts
absolutely.
in my experience, because exactly what you're saying, it's where the smart money is. You don't need the specificity of the final wick on this type of movement, so you could trade it. And I'm sure that you guys, like I said, I don't use the line chart to trade, but I'm sure you guys can find concepts like that that work great on the line chart. So yes,
Mm,
opposite of Heiken Ashi candles, I recommend the line chart for beginners. Having one solid line, I think, can really help you measure the market better as a beginner than the complex candlesticks
yeah.
that you're looking at. Also,
Uh,
if you're in a trade and you don't want to be affected by the motions of the candles, it also might help to do it in a line chart because now you're just watching the trade go up toward and away from your entry position, which has its own psychology, but you're not seeing an individual candle trigger an emotion, right? An individual red candle that's real big or something like that. You're just seeing the
absolutely.
market pull closer and farther away from your entry, and I think that's psychologically better too.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that as well. Pat, my New Year's resolution this year is to be more focused on just about everything that I do, especially trading. So that is a very general, in my opinion. You may have like this, that may have just been a kind of like something that you tell someone in an elevator and whatnot, and you know
Yeah.
they don't have times to ask questions. But that is a very broad subject right there. How and why are you going to be more focused? Like, what 1% here, there, and everywhere are you going to be doing to work on the process to be more focused? Because more focused, like you can just, you know, get a cup of coffee and you're immediately a little bit more focused after about 30 minutes, you know, as opposed to, okay, well, I am going to work on building a sleeping habit. I'm going to make sure I get this amount of sleep every night. I'm going to make sure I wake up and I'm not going to have my phone next to me by my bedside table, so I grab and just get a dopamine hit every single time. Um, I'm going to make sure that I do some diary on my mental health. I'm going to make sure that I am eating X, Y, and Z so that I'm giving myself every opportunity to be focused. And again, so working on these, um, uh, what am I saying? The process driven goals rather than the end result, as in, I want to be more focused, which I believe like being more focused is the end result. I find that yeah, looking at the process is much more beneficial, and I would say go more towards that sort of thing rather than the final result. Anything you want to add to that, Jezza?
No, that was beautifully said.
Oh, cheers,
I could
buddy.
just, I could just,
I thought you might. I thought you were trying to, get back on me because I was so silent on you through the what is it, the Christmas mindset stuff. I let you just kept on talking. I was like, he's doing it back to me, the cheeky bugger.
no, 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 no. It just, that was beautifully said. I
Ah,
just
cheers,
would,
bro.
yeah. You just gotta focus on, or you gotta decide what things you need to focus on. Basically, it's just, yeah. I agree.
So,
Um,
for example, um,
he,
I think I was talking to this to you just before we started. I have actually been working on a guided, like designing myself a guided meditation uh, specifically for traders, but also specifically designed to what I feel I need to combat as a trader before before a market opens. So, like for instance, I will first work on my breath work, and I find that a problem that I have when I just do simple breath work, which is just focus on your breathe in, breathe out, in through your nose, out through your mouth, working through getting your uh, I can't even remember what the type of breathing it is, but essentially my mind
yep.
would wander. And so even when I'm concentrating on my breathing, I would start thinking about the charts. I would start thinking about what UJ was doing, what GU was doing, blah 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 blah. So I researched into it, and I have done this kind of like specialist breath work. Where have you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, Jezza?
I have indeed.
You know the instant transmission pose,
Yes, yeah,
that one right here.
yep. That's so
So
funny.
two fingers on here, and then you breathe in. You close one nostril, breathe in through one nostril, then you close one nostril and breathe out through the other nostril. So I have found, and it's worked with me, it may not work with you. So breathing in through one nostril, breathing out through the other nostril, then breathing back in through that nostril and breathing out through the first nostril.
Oh,
Doing
okay.
that, it's very hard to think about anything else other than
Yeah.
that.
I see what, yeah,
Once you, because you're concentrating on that, and you can't concentrate on, oh, what's the market's doing, blah 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 blah.
yeah.
So I do that for about 30 seconds. Then I focus on self. So I do this thing called the observer. So basically, you just for 30 to 60 seconds, you just stay there, and just you do start thinking. but you just observe. You don't judge your thoughts because I am not my thoughts. You know, everyone is always like, when you think about something, embarrassing or something, stupid and whatnot, and you go, "Oh, stupid! Why am I thinking that?" It's like they're just thoughts. They're not. They're not even necessarily. They don't even define you. So just being a general observer of your thoughts and just looking at the thought, just watching it kind of float by like a cloud, and kind of going, "Okay, that's interesting. Let's do it. Does that thought serve me? No, okay, move on to the next one. Does this thought serve me? Oh yes, it does. Okay, we'll work on that." So that's my second thing that I do, and then the last thing, which I find super powerful, is visualization. So my my problem, my most consistent problems when it comes to trading is one, FOMO. So when a move goes without me and I'm having to be patient. So what I will do is I will visualize being at the chart. I will see, say for instance, 30 minutes before London Open, or maybe an hour, because 30 minutes beforehand that is allowed in my um, strategy. I will see that the market starts moving without me, and I will visualize that in my mind, and I'll see it go, and then I will, again take note of what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, and then be very sort of conscious, not be that lizard brain, be that kind of have that kind of thought process that, okay, this has happened, this is what I do when this happens. The second scenario is a winning scenario. So I just basically go through. Again, I will picture the charts in my mind. I'll picture the perfect, set up for sort of an Asian sweep where London has come and taken liquidity from the Asian low, and it's done a perfect market structure shift and a perfect OT entry for me, and I will watch my entry get taken and it go and hit my take profit, and then the final one. So I don't finish on a winner; I finish on a loser. So the final one is, again, same thing happens. I will do exactly the same thing. It's absolutely perfect setup. OTE comes back, taking the entry, and it kind of hangs about, and then it's a loss. And then I will take reflection of my emotions and whatnot, and then I will just go from there, go into my trading, and that's something that I've been working on, and then I've actually created a script that I will eventually, hopefully, ask Bear to record for me so that I can listen to his voice.
That'd be so epic.
when
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
yeah. So when before I start trading, um, I find that will be very beneficial.
Bear
And maybe
definitely
it's something that
needs.
we can do for the trading floor. Maybe it's something that if there's people that are interested in it, maybe something we can release that people can download and listen to themselves.
Bear was
Um,
gifted by whatever you believe in, God, nature, whatever. Bear was gifted the voice of somebody that belongs in guided meditation. He should absolutely do that for
oh,
the trade
mate,
floor.
absolutely. He is Mufasa. He's
Yeah,
Mufasa.
yeah,
Right?
100%. That's great.
Gives me the tingles.
Right?
Um, Anywho, I don't know why I started talking about that. Why was I talking about
Uh,
meditation? Oh yes, because
well, you
because the concept, there was to be more focused. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's a skill I need to do, is not to try and manage multiple tasks at once. For instance, when I cycle, I'm dialed in, focused on breathing, movement, everything to be better. I need to apply that the same. Yeah. Concept on trading, my work, my relationship with my wife and me, etc. Just little things here and there. Yeah, so just like I would just break it up even more to that, just those little 1%, if you improve, I don't have the exact data, but like if you improve by 1% every single day, Jezza, how much more improvement do you get in a year?
I forgot, but it's exponentially more than
It's a lot.
300%. Yeah,
It's a
it
lot.
was a lot. I
Yeah,
forgot. There's
yeah.
what book is it that has it? That's Atomic Habits that has the equation in it, I think.
Atomic
But
Habits. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, James Clear.
Yes, James Clear.
Atomic
Yes.
Habits. Yeah,
Please,
yeah. Very
everybody,
good book.
yes, everybody should read that book. Period. No matter what you want to do, even if you don't want to be a trader, you should absolutely read uh Atomic Habits by James Clear. Very good read.
Hmm.
Is
Yep,
there any
I
other
agree.
questions? I'll just harper back one more time on the point that I made earlier when it comes to your focus. Every day when you get up, what's the most important thing for you today? Is it your wife? Is it your job? Is it whatever? It could be different every day. Do something different every day of the week. And again, three things I'm gonna do today to m make systems for that better. Just three things I can do today. We can use your wife as an example. Today I will tell her something really nice or that I appreciate about her. Today I will take her somewhere or take her to get her hair done or whatever. I don't know what your guys' situation is, but I'm just saying. And then also today I will give her a foot rub. Cost me nothing. I got 5 minutes of free time at this time that we sit and watch Netflix. I'll just give her a foot rub during that time or whatever and do those
It's the
three
hair
things.
tickles for me.
Yeah, right. Wait,
Yeah,
what? Hair?
not my hair.
Oh, okay, okay. Just kidding, brother. Just kidding. The book, oh, he said Atomic Habits by James Clear. That is a very good book. Please put it on your reading list. I mean, just period. That should be like top of the list for everybody.
If you, I'm pretty sure if you look at the pinned messages in the mindset room, it'll be in there.
Yeah.
But geez, I hope I spelled this right.
Yeah, no problem. There's a
But
few
I
books
got
in there
I
that,
got a different keyboard, so
oh, fun. Um,
speed typing on that keyboard. That's spelled right, isn't it? Is it double B?
no, I don't think it's double B because someone wrote that and that looks like hobbits to me. So no, it's just one B, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it's single B. You're
Yeah,
right. Yep.
yeah, that looks too close to hobbits. Um,
Hey,
yeah,
I went to New Zealand. I have listened and have
maybe.
also read The Lord of the Rings so many times in the last
That's
2 months.
Did you get to visit the caves? Those like crystally ice caves or whatever?
The glowworms.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't do it this time, but I have done.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done done the glowworms. We've climbed Mount Doom. We have been
I need to go
to,
to New
you
Zealand.
know, where Frodo gets stabbed on Weathertop, and then he gets, I mean, it's not in the book, but in the film, he gets taken by Arwen, and then she gets the water horses
Yeah.
and
Yes.
whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So in the book, it's Gandalf who does the water horse, but in the movie,
Okay.
he does it. But we went there as well. We went to Queenstown as well, which is a lot of Lord of the Rings kind of areas as well, which is
That's cool.
awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Super
it's
fun.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. I want to go visit. There's
I
so many
love me.
fun things to
I
do in New
love. I
Zealand.
love me some Lord of the Rings. I think Samwise Gamgee is like one of the best like characters ever.
I could see your guys' connection. You feel Samwisey to me, man.
Do I?
You kind of look like
Oh,
him too.
Mr. Frodo.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, but I appreciate it. I've seen them all, and I like them.
I
It's
mean,
okay.
when you live that close to New Zealand, you just
Yeah,
got to,
yeah. I'm
you know,
definitely gonna go. I'm gonna go visit New Zealand eventually. Any other questions, guys,
yeah,
before we take off? I hope you guys all had a good holiday and have a great
yeah.
new year.
Oh, before I do go, like you know how I was saying how I made a new song. You know,
Yes,
I'm sure. What is it in Alaska? Like all the songs are valid. You know, around this time of year. You know,
yes,
let it snow and jingle bells, like,
yeah,
and how cold everything is, and blah 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 blah. But in anywhere south of the equator, you know, we're not seeing any snow. So at Christmas time, it's like all these songs come on, and we're
yeah.
like, do you know what? None of them make sense. There's no snow at this time of year. There's barely snow in our winter anyway. So yeah, I made do you know what jandals are?
No, I don't know what jandals are.
Jandals are so Japanese sandals. So basically
Oh, okay,
your
okay.
your
Yeah,
Birkenstocks,
got you. Get
your
yeah,
flip-flops, all that sort of stuff. So
got you.
yeah, I made a song called Jandals on My Christmas Shoes. Um and it's gonna be a huge hit next year come
That
Christmas.
I can't wait. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's what in Celsius we use Fahrenheit here, so let me calculate it real quick in Celsius. -8 degrees last week here.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Uh, it's not quite there now. It's just dropped off, but it was 41 degrees
Oh
Celsius here
God.
today. Yeah.
Oh, so
So
jealous.
41
That's ooh, that's
Celsius.
oh wait. Let me math that real quick because I like to do this. Uh, 41. Oh gosh, that's 108 degrees?
Almost 106.
106,
Yeah.
okay. God dang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's hot.
We've had all the curtains closed. We've got aircon in this room, and then we've got a bunch of ceiling fans that are just circulating it around the house.
Yeah.
So
It is
yeah.
so you
But
guys can see I'm wearing a snowboarding jacket. It's so cold even inside. I don't want the heater to be on full blast, but it's a lot even
and
when
I'm
we're
I'm in
inside.
my active wear right now.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't on a stream, I wouldn't be wearing this top. So
Yeah. At that temperature, I would definitely be stripping down.
yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Hmm.
We're in very opposite scenarios right now. It's hilarious.
That's right. Yeah, we are literally like I'm not quite the same because I think if you what is it when you is it anti tropes the directly the opposite side of the world. I think we're
Yeah. Yeah. It's
if
true.
you kind of go through the center of the earth for for us, you'd come out in the just off the coast of Portugal somewhere, but not too far off.
Pretty close. Yeah. Someone had a question. Do you say the Hike and Ashy are helping with the trend or bias? It's better than an oscillator for this in some ways. Okay. Those are two different things. Trend or bias. It's better for the trend. I don't think Hike and Ashy
Trend.
are that great at the bias any more than already understanding the trend would be. So they're good for the trend, and that alone should kind of help you with your bias.
Stay hydrated.
Is it better than an oscillator for this? Now, I don't. Then for the trend, yes, it's showing the average movement of the candles in candlestick form.
Yeah.
So, let me load my chart back up. I mean, let me put it back on Heikin-Ashi.
I would I would just add also that both Jezza and myself are not big indicator people.
Yeah, we don't do
We
indicators
can
much.
use indicators and we have used indicators in the past, but time and price is generally our bread and butter. When it comes to, oscillators, when it comes to moving averages, I do like, weighted volume, the
Yeah, me.
VWAP,
Yeah,
um,
VWAP's not bad.
anchored VWAP, sorry.
Yeah, yep, same. I usually
Yeah.
anchor it something to
I,
something.
I do love that. But when it comes to sort of Haikanashi, we are just using our best judgment because we are not very, I don't know about you, Jezza, but I'm not overly experienced in Haikanashi.
Me neither, but I get their function. To me, it is like turning
Yeah.
your candlesticks into a moving average in a way. It's like a fusion of a
Mm,
moving average and a candlestick chart. So I get the function of them. Using them in a trade, I have zero experience, guys. Like I've never, literally, even when I was interested in Heikin-Ashi for a brief time, like I was watching some arty videos or something, I was learning about them in interest. I never once, ever picked them up to trade. Not a single time in my life. I've never traded Heikin. I never even wanted to. I'm like, why? I want to learn candlesticks. So, and I don't mean any offense or anything. Like, totally, use your Heikin-Ashi. I'm just letting you know the level of experience you're asking. When you're asking a question, I want to be honest with you. I do understand the market enough. I feel like I could give you the answer to the question you just asked, but I can't trade Heikin-Ashi candles, period. I can't give you an entry model or anything like that, so don't expect that. But you asked if Heikin-Ashi or oscillator is better for trend or, what was the quote? Trend or, um, sorry, let me, bias. Okay. I think that's hard to say because bias to me is like the total story, but it's okay.
yeah.
For the sake of generality, I will say the oscillator is better for bias, meaning that if it's oversold, it's probably more likely to pull back and you get some kind of buy signal. And if it's overbought, you're more likely to get a sell signal eventually, right? So it's better for the bias, whereas the Heikin-Ashi is better for trend because the oscillator doesn't show you any
Yeah.
trend at all. It's oscillating. That's the point of it. It's an
Mm.
oscillator. And if you're oscillating, you're not
Yeah.
trending. You're inherently in a range market right here in the oscillator. So in a way, it can help you with trend in that like the oscillator can give you hidden divergences and stuff that can help you with the continuations. But no, this indicator alone doesn't help you with the trend. It just helps you with what's happening in the trend right now. So if you're in an uptrend, is it going to be pulling back to continue the uptrend or whatever? It can help you with that. But so I say this is more helpful for bias, and this is more helpful for trend. I don't use either one. I have a lot more
Yeah.
experience using an oscillator though. I can answer a lot of questions about that. I can't the only questions I can answer about Heikin-Ashi is it functional with your trading system? No. Straight up no. I use specific price points, and that is the core of my system. So it can't be used with Heikin-Ashi, in my opinion. I mean, I can't say that. I don't know. I don't know, but I would
Yeah.
assume that it's absolutely incompatible.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say is the only way that you would possibly use it is if you were already in a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Already in a trade,
Already
sorry.
in a
Already in a
trade.
trade.
And to let you, yeah, because, okay, well, let me actually, we can talk about piece of price action. Let's look at this leg right here, right? This could be a scary move. If you're in this bullish move or whatever, this can look scary on, let's look at it on a Heikin-Ashi. Although that's pretty deep, so probably it's also going to pull back on Heikin-Ashi, but we'll see how.
You're gonna get definitely some kind of
Okay, similar, actually, pretty similar pullback. Let me find a better example of like a longer. Okay, here's a good trendy leg down. Okay, so let's take a look at it on candlesticks first. Okay, so in this trendy leg down, right, you have all this choppy mess, and you don't really know if it's going bullish or bearish, right? It could go either way. It could be taking this liquidity over here into this deep demand and going bearish, and you don't really know yet until we get this kind of confirmation continuation, and then it fills that, which you could get in on. You're kind of late to that, and it's really messy and almost going bullish up here. Let's take a look at that on Heikin-Ashi because that's the area I would imagine it would be the most different if it's different at all. Um, Still not much. I don't know. I don't get it. It's not really much different. I mean, a little bit. You have most of these candles on the way down are all red, even if they are stall candles, right? On the way down, it's all red.
yeah.
And then after the breakout, the same thing happens here. So even the stall candles are mostly red. So it will help you know, okay, maybe the breakout is going to continue bearish because the stall candles aren't even turning green. So in that way,
I'm gonna I'm
that's
gonna hugely cherry pick something for you.
okay.
Uh, Go to GU.
Uh,
Specifically, say you're in a trade from the 2nd of December on the 4 hour,
Okay, 4 hour, 2nd of December. Okay, so it must be a bullish
and
trade.
say you are looking to target the 28th of October, the high of the 28th of October.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw as if you're in a trade at this for some reason. Okay, and the 28th of October, where are we at? 28. So right here.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
you see if you're just looking on candles, you've got, one, is that the second bearish candle? Three. So one bearish candle and two indecision candles, and on regular candles, you might look at that and kind of go, oh yeah, that's the start of a pullback. But if you look at it on Heikin-Ashi, you can go, okay, well, I have not received
oh, I
a
see.
black candle yet,
Yeah,
and you managed to get out of your trade before ever getting one. You know what I mean?
yep,
And there's no huge pullbacks with that.
yeah.
So
Even
that was kind of my point where I'm talking about when you're in a trade and you want to have a little bit more confidence to be able to hold a trade, that would be probably the only way that I would say that it complements maybe your style of trading. But I know that that is very cherry picked,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so therefore, at the end of the day, I would say it doesn't complement your style of trading,
yeah.
nor does it really complement my style of trading either.
Yeah, I've not seen too much value in them. In like yeah, the way I'm looking at the market, and so yeah, I agree. At at best, they are an okay tool to use hand in hand with candlesticks. Again, like you said, holding a trade it can help you because these candlesticks will turn bearish before the Heikin-Ashi ones will, which can scare
Yeah.
you out early. So, but
Hmm.
if you're using logic to target obvious points of liquidity, you're gonna have to learn to live with that anyway. So I think changing the candle colors so it's not individually psychological or using line charts might be just as useful as a
Yeah.
Heikin-Ashi for that.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
not
would,
against
yeah,
holding
and I
them.
would go on to say that if you're at the point when your mindset where you're having to change to a different style of candle, there's some mindset work that you're probably going to have to do to actually overcome that, rather than having to
Mm-hmm.
deal having just to change it.
Yep.
Because I would just imagine if I was in this situation and I changed to Hakanashi, I would be constantly changing back just to see what it was actually doing on normal candles.
Yeah, I would too, especially if it was
Yeah.
new. Um,
Yeah,
that
it's
brings
definitely
me
not for everyone, Pat.
it
It
brings me
takes a
to
while to get used to.
I'm
It's
sorry.
kryptonite is someone just.
Uh,
It's kryptonite to someone just to look at them. Yes,
I could
correct.
see that.
Maxi, you son of a
Oh, you
gun.
showed up.
Hey,
Hello, hello.
buddy.
I simply delayed cancel like price action.
Ikanashi candles are simply delayed candles. Learning price action using regular candle is a lot more precise. Correct. Yes, I completely agree with that.
So when you
Oh,
said
why didn't you say that right at the beginning, Maxi? We wasted like 45 minutes trying to talk about the correct thing to say, and you just swoop in here with your spiritual journey and just say all the right things.
loving it. Um,
Yeah. I got to go walk some doggos
oh yeah, yeah,
before
that's
it
true.
gets dark.
We're
So,
running late. Okay, guys. Well, it was cool, and I have plenty more things that we can talk about. So next week we'll have more chatting. I'll probably have looked at the market a lot more, and maybe we can get some trading in, or we can talk about a trade that's been taken. Um,
beauty.
yep, yep. Thank you guys for coming.
Always a pleasure, Jezza.
Happy New Year, everybody.
And
Yes, I love it, man. Every
yeah,
time.
you're gonna tell. Oh, cheers, Maxi. Love you too, buddy. He's my Aussie brother.
Aw. Man, it'd be
Except he's
really.
Austrian, not Australian.
Oh, well, that's cool too. Um, I was
Pretty
gonna, but
close.
that gave me it would be really cool if we ever did like a trading floor convention. That would be sick. I would probably definitely go.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm going. If there's anyone in Egypt, anyone who lives in Egypt, I'm going there in April.
nice.
Yeah,
Shout out. All
because
right.
why not?
Well,
I
uh,
told you. I told you. One as soon as we finish one holiday, you got to book
if
the next one.
if you guys run in, if anybody runs into him in Egypt, you guys got to get a picture and show us. Wild, catch a wild lemons.
You won't be able to get a picture because the sun will be shining off my head, and you know
Well,
it'll just
I'll
like wreck the camera.
yeah. Who's that glow? That's lemons. Lemons glows all the time. All right,
Hey,
guys. I will catch you
my
guys in
money
the next
don't
one.
wiggle wiggle. It glows.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
see you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.